Before starting Pandemonium War, you should be prepared. You should bring percent HP potions, Warlord's Cry, undiluted int or strength, you don't need toys, and definitely bring some mind stimulants. Don't forget to also repair your equipment before starting. To make a Pandemonium War party, you go to the right and there's 3 choices: normal, hard, and guide. For normal, the requirements are green prey raid ready, that means Finor Grad with titles, enchants, and pets, and auras. For hard mode, you need to have the prey weapon and at least 1 set of the prey stuff. And for guide, you need minimum of tabers. And then after you choose which one, make a name, you go to the right, and then you will see a dissembler so you can repair there, and then you have Razin to start the war. Talk to Razin to start the war, and once it starts you will see a mini-map. There will be 2 swords and shields, a key, and a pentacle. Clearing the swords and shields give you attack boosts. You need to clear both the key and the pentacle to get to Sarpoza. If Sicily is one of the sword and shields, do fight her first, because she does not have a mini-boss right before her, so you will have cubes ready. The best part when fighting Sicily is right behind her, so you can avoid any frontal breaths. She also teleports around as well. You should be constantly moving to avoid the spikes that she spawned underneath random party members. Here are 4 homunculi, you need to kill those ASAP, that's your main priority. And once she's ready to do her main gimmick, she knocks you back, and then you have to find the line of safety. So don't stand in the purple line. And then she spawns drills. If you get hit by those drills, it will spawn health orbs for Sicily, and we don't really want that. So after a few rounds of this, finding the safe zone will be groggy time. Here as an EB, you can use the leap, rapid fire, elemental cannon to stay in the air to avoid the drills. But be warned, there's lightning that strikes down and you might get knocked out of it like so. And now it's groggy time! So you do your sandbag rotation, and whatnot, 20 seconds. And since this is Sicily, she recovers health based on the number of orbs hanging around. The higher the difficulty, the more health. So to show that, we bring her down to about 1300 bars, and then she's going to recover back up to 1900 bars. And then you go fight the other sword and shield dungeon, which happens to be Doghead. Before fighting Doghead, you need to fight your Swordstalker Cermak. He's back from Harlem Scenarios. Basically, you want to be behind them. If you kind of noticed, holds will not interrupt any moves that they are currently doing, but it will hold them after that animation. And if you wait long enough, Cermak will do his main gimmick. And here his main gimmick. There will be lines and circles. Basically you want to walk to any spot that's not red until it's all over, and then you just continue fighting him. He does not go into groggy after this. So just kill him! Kill him! The first thing you notice when walking into Doghead's room is that you have a counter above your head. Each time you get hit by anything she does, that counter will go up. If it reaches 100, you'll get encased in a beam of light and you'll take major damage. So the best way to avoid her is to not be on the same x-axis as her. If she's being chain held because you have good holders, you can do long combo strings. Otherwise, I would suggest hit and run so you don't commit to any long animations. Once you get hit, it takes about 10 to 12 seconds of not getting hit before that counter will go down by 5 per 1 second. And here to say to reach 100, and that was the light beam. So you just keep dodging, do some maybe sniper from afar, and you wait for the main gimmick. And here's the main gimmick. One person in the party will have eyes. They will know where the safe spot is. Follow that person. If you don't make it, you die. The safe spot will always be on the opposite side of your starting point. So if you start on the left, it will be on the right, and vice versa. If you go too early, you take a lot of explosion damage, and I was surprised I didn't die right there. And at the end, she'll do an explosion around her, and then she'll be in groggy. Now if you have the eyes, this is what it looks like, so lead your party members to safety. Here we go, groggy. that's basically what it is. But I've seen so many melee characters forget about that final explosion around her that they die during this groggy phase. So, remember about that explosion, okay? Don't get too close. Now, if she doesn't die in the first groggy, you repeat. It doesn't matter what dungeon you do next between the key and the pentacle, so pick one, and here we go. We're gonna go fight Tagore. But before we can fight Tagore, we have to stop Bernardo from collecting our faces again. So, with this mini-boss, his stuff is really telegraphed. There'll be a red line across the room, there'll be a circle around him, there'll be a cone in front of him. Avoid everything, especially the line across the room. That's the most dangerous of the three. For one reason and one reason only. If you get hit by it, you take the full brunt of the force. You can't quick rebound while in the middle of it because you're constantly not on the ground to quick rebound, getting juggled in the air. So after a while of this, you will teleport to the top of the room and there will be a wall of faces. Find the safe spot, basically the hole in the wall. And once it's all over, you continue fighting him. There is no groggy. Back to the fight. Here's me getting greedy. Didn't make it in time to teleport. And here we fight Tagore, who's been brought back to life by Dr. Gazelle. And now she's a cyborg. If you catch her at the beginning in nice holes, you can do some damage to her. Once again, I talked about this. If you hold a boss, their moves still happen when they're held. Now notice our satyr has a target underneath him, so Tagore will go after him. So I'm going to show it with me as the target. She's going to try and get me with the tornadoes and move away. She usually stops about when she's in the middle of the screen. She'll stop following you. So still avoid the tornadoes. If everybody has a target, you want to walk and avoid missiles and laser and try not to corner yourself like I did. And she hears an aerial bombardment across the room. Here's her main gimmick. She'll be in the barrier. To break the barrier, you need the key card. If you look at the count at the bottom of the screen, you do this 3 times. Grab the key card and do some DDR. You have a timer, you have to do the key inputs correctly. You have to do it 3 times. 2 times for guide mode, though. Alright, once the barrier's down, it's groggy. And you know what to do. Unload. And of course, if you don't kill her in one rotation, she'll repeat. And here we go to fight Wordsworth. Before we can fight Wordsworth, we need to go through Kashipa. She wants revenge from the Pandemonium War. However, she doesn't have any gimmicks, and all of her moves are in front of her, so stay behind her and she's just a punch bag. Apparently, Wordsworth is a fan of Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man, so he will do lightning around him. If you're in, stay in. If you're out, stay out. There's the dash attack. If you have a blue line underneath you, you want to avoid the arm. Other party members should not get in the way. If you get grabbed, you take damage. Best way to do it, since the arm always starts on the top, is to go into upper corner and then go down and then around. If you have a yellow line, you want to put a card between you and him. Apparently there was a card earlier, go closer to him. And you'll do dashes or shockwaves across the screen. And here's the main gimmick. You want to start at the circle closest to him, which is the farthest from you. So you have to get really close. And there's numbers 2, 1, 4. There's a number of people that needs to be in that circle. If you have too many people or too little people, he will do the wipe move. And you'll die. Sometimes, if you remember the gargoyle from Prey Raid, lightning will block you, and you might not make it in time, and you will wipe. To avoid the wipe, you can use a skill that has invincible frames. So there I did my 2A. Now to do it properly, so here we go. Some people have a certain way of doing it. They number party members 1 through 4. If it's 2 people, only party members 1 and 2 will go in there. If it's 3, parties 1 through 3. But however you do it, just clear it and you get that groggy. And of course, if you don't kill him in one groggy, you repeat. Sometimes Dr. Gazelle will replace a dungeon that you intended to do with his own. Dr. Gazelle, again. Sometimes to beat him up. Anyways, all his stuff is telegraphed, pretty much. There'll be aerial bombardments, circles around him, yellow cone. Yellow cone's the machine gun. There's more aerial bombardments. Here we go, the yellow machine gun here. Yeah, you can do some knockback here. Drones that will shoot lasers, and here's his main gimmick. If he's not on the left side of the room, he'll stop whatever he's doing and move to the left. The battlefield becomes foggy and cloudy. And here's the aerial bombardments. The safe spots are white. You notice there's little robots. And now people have a yellow target circle on them. And it shrinks. Once it shrinks, the claw will try to grab them. So what you want to do is, instead of having the claw grab you, you want the claw to grab the robot on the ground. But you can't do it too early, because if you get close to the robot explodes. So you kind of do like a drive-by grab. So wait till it's almost done shrinking, and then run next to a robot. See there I ran, and then if it's successful, you'll see a blue bar, and it kind of fritz out. Now I'm showing how it fails. You can fail if you run out of robots to do this. So here's the fail. And here's major suction on this. The bottom right corner, the bottom corners, and I guess apparently where the witch is moving, those are the safe spots. And apparently I kind of hold my dash, so I died. So here's how to do it properly. So after you get a claw to grab one, you have to kill the claw. And then you'll see a message. And after 3 of those, he's in groggy. So move to the left and beat him up. And in Dr. Wily fashion, Dr. Gazelle runs away again. Finally, after the key and the pentacle is down, we get to fight the boss of Kashipa, Sarpoza. But before we can get to Sarpoza, we gotta kill Ricardo. So, Ricardo gotten more buff by absorbing the remnants of Isis's egg. So that's why he looks like that. The safe spot when fighting Ricardo, like pretty much all the mini-bosses, is right behind him. Stay behind him and just kill him. So I'm gonna get my revenge as a male mage for having Ricardo kill me in my prologue. I'm surprised we didn't get any special dialogue for that. Gimp, please. Ricardo does have a main gimmick, so we're trying to trigger it. Okay, here's the main gimmick. My buddy! Alright, basically it's kind of like Cermak's gimmick. Avoid the red lines and the circles. And he's actually the only mini-boss to have a groggy afterwards. So go beat him up. And after you beat him up, he goes crying to Sarpoza. You have failed me for the last time, Admiral. So Sarpoza absorbs Ricardo and the leftover Isis energy. This is the elemental trail. Follows whoever's in player 1 slot. So whoever's in player 1, make sure you lead it away from your party members. You will not have much time to commit long combo animations like Doghead, so just do some hit and runs. Everything's telegraphed. Avoid everything. Here's the elemental rain. This one's definitely... Where is the safe spot? Here's the convergence cannon. Here's my convergence cannon, that size example. And here's the main gimmick. And you have a color. You want to use whoever's that color needs to block the color orb. So it's right now it's fire. Notice the wave went from left to right. That means Sarpoza's on the left side. So you should be running over there. Block those orbs. Prevent them from hitting your party. Sarpoza can teleport from one side to another, so be aware of that. Oh, there he is, he teleported. It's blue, that's me. Here I go. Protect my party! You definitely should be running for this because it has a huge knockback. And afterwards, all 4 are done. Find your color, and get in it. And then it's groggy. So if you do 35% of his health right here, so bringing him down to 65%, he begins his second phase. Now when he transitions from first phase to second phase, he'll do a knockdown and hit you. Make sure you quick rebound that. There we go, comes. And I forgot to quick rebound. Ugh, took some damage. Definitely use a health potion if you get hit to survive. I'm ready to do it properly, but then the client lagged at this point. Quick rebound! Yeah, I did it. And now Sarpoza is a blood mage because he absorbed Ricardo. So this is definitely the most important part when fighting Sarpoza. Do not get hit. Every time you get hit or a party member gets hit, it fills up his berserk bar. Once it fills up, it's a wipe. Here he's trying to suction people in, avoid that. Here's the incoming donut. Jump over it, you get in. If you're far away as male mage, you can try and teleport in the side. That's why with that donut move, I want to keep Sarpoza on my screen, to see him on my screen, okay? Here are all these circles. You can shrink the circles to make a safe spot, but apparently it was too far and couldn't make it in time. And all those orbs went to fill up his berserk bar. Here we go. Oh, there's a nice spot here. Good spot, so I'm showing how far you can shrink the circles. Here's a dash attack. This attack you definitely want to avoid. If you get hit, it will fill up his berserk bar a lot. Here we go, incoming berserk. Everybody dies, but I had to fairy and add an party members get hit by a certain mechanic during this time will also cause the berserk, and you won't get the groggy. I was lucky I was knocked down to quick rebound that. And here's the gimmick. You get absorbed into a sphere, and there will be a little bubble willing to break in the light beam. People that needs to get out go into the light beam. And the people that are in the bubble needs to avoid getting hit, because each hit will fill up that berserk bar. And once you break it, and you go into groggy. Here's what it looks like if you're the one that goes out. Sometimes when I come out, I get juggled by the explosions. So here we go, groggy. Alright, Sarpoza, the first Warlock. I think I'm the better Warlock here, even though I'm a smaller and recolored version of you. And that's Pandemonium War. And enjoy your loots, because it's gonna be RNG. Dun dun dun! And we get the cutscene. Here's the rewards. And then you cry because you didn't get one for your subclass.